500,000 rands for a 77 kilowatt SUV. Yep, that already sounds like a bad deal. But here's the thing, we even took this on a gravel run, and honestly, the gravel was smooth, and the ride just as smooth. So now the question is this actually one of the smartest buys in this segment, or just underpowered hype? Ladies and gents, this is the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport Exceed, and yes, it competes in quite a competitive segment, one that the Chinese are overcrowding with serious contenders. At this price, you're looking at vehicles the likes of the Omoda C5 Hybrid, the Tiggo Cross Hybrid, the Haval Julian, the JQ J5 and J7, as well as the Jitour Dashing. Now, for context, this replaces the old ASX, and honestly, Mitsubishi needed this. Something fresh, something bold, something that actually stands out. And this, especially in Exceed trim, definitely does that. Coming in at 499,990, this is the flagship model. And it's all about lifestyle, comfort, and everyday usability. And well, at this price point, it's not just about buying the car, it's about living with it. So I jumped onto hippo.co.za to compare insurance quotes, and the lowest insurance quote I got came in at about 1,024 rands per month. If you factor in a monthly installment, then the cost of one full tank, cost of ownership would set me back 11,830 rands per month. So before you commit, head over to hippo.co.za, compare insurance quotes, and make sure you're making the smart choice. On the ownership side, you get a 5-year unlimited kilometer warranty and a 3-year or 45,000 kilometer service plan, whichever comes first. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So, this is a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, putting out 77 kilowatts of power, 141 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to a CVT gearbox. Yep. And 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is said to happen in about 13.6 seconds. And the top speed is rated at about 175 kilometers per hour. So no, this is not fast, but also it's not trying to be fast. After spending some time with this vehicle, I can safely say that the car is built for smooth, relaxed everyday driving, not for chasing speed. So who is the target market? Well, in my opinion, anyone looking for an alternative means from the Chinese, and someone who leans more towards reliability and longevity that Mitsubishi is known for. Fuel consumption is rated at a claimed 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers, but in the real world, you're looking at around 6.8 to 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. And compared to a lot of turbocharged rivals, that's actually on the efficient side. But hybrid tech is also available at this price point, which would return better numbers than this. But uncertainty over the longevity thereof would see many going this route. So then, money no problem. Are you buying this or the hybrid alternatives in the market? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, in terms of handling, this is where it surprised me. This actually handles well. It's got something called active yaw control. It helps the car rotate better in corners and reduces understeer. Then you've got your drive modes. Eco for efficiency and Sport mode for when you need a bit more response. You also have multiple terrain response modes. To take it a step further, the steering wheel can be adjusted. Light for comfort and a bit more weighted if you want that sporty feel. And like I said earlier, we took this on a gravel run. Now, to be fair, it was a smooth gravel road, but still, the car felt completely at ease. The gravel was smooth and the ride just as smooth. That 222mm ground clearance definitely helps, and for light gravel driving like this, it just feels easy and confident. Now, at cruising speeds, this thing is quiet, properly quiet, but when you put your foot down, that CVT drone does come in. That's just the nature of the setup of a CVT. I am not a fan. If anything, the Destinator will hopefully share its engine with this for that improved power. And with that, let's take a look at the design, shall we? This design, it's bold. Up front, you've got that massive grille. I like the signature T-shaped LED headlights and those daytime running lights. On the side, you have 18-inch two-tone alloy wheels and a high stance with 222mm of ground clearance. And at the back, those T-shaped LED tail lights just finish it off nicely. It's got that mini off-roader look, and it definitely stands out. The boot is electronic. Boot space is also solid. You have 480 liters with the seats up and just over 1,200 liters with them down. Well, I must say that I'm not particularly sure about the parcel shelf. It is quite flimsy. And yes, you get a spare wheel. And with that, let's dive right into the interior, shall we? Now this is where Mitsubishi really put in the effort. However, we do not have a sunroof. Ish, what a miss! You get a 12.3-inch infotainment display with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capabilities and an 8-inch digital driver display. And this melange fabric across the dashboard, it's soft, modern and actually stain resistant. So no need to worry about the stains on this. However, I must be honest, at first I wasn't so sure about it. You have seats that are covered in leather and they even have heat guard technology to keep things cool in the sun. And yes, both front and rear seats are really comfortable. It just feels different and honestly more premium than you'd expect at this price point. And then there's the Yamaha premium sound system, 8 speakers, tuned specifically for this cabin. With 4 sound modes, signature, lively, powerful and relaxing, and honestly it sounds really good. If you love music, this is one of the standout features of the Exceed. You've also got dual zone climate control, Nano X air purification system, cup holders, as well as rear air vents for your rear passengers. And the rear seats recline in multiple steps. This is a car you can live with every single day, comfortably. In terms of safety, well, let me just say safety is decent, but not class leading. You get 6 airbags, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, hill start assist, and a reverse camera. But no adaptive cruise control, no lane keep assist, and at this price, that's something you do notice. Now, when you look at the competition, you've got the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro with more tech and more power, and then the Toyota Corolla Cross, especially the hybrid, more efficient and more established. This sits right in the middle, balancing efficiency, comfort, and design. And with that, here's 2 things I like about the vehicle and 2 things I don't like about it. Number 1, in terms of the things I like, the fuel efficiency. Right now, that matters more than ever. And number 2, the interior. It genuinely feels like you're in something more expensive. And in terms of the things I do not like, number 1, the engine. Especially when the car is fully loaded, it does feel like it's working hard. And number 2, the missing advanced safety tech. At this price, you expect more. So then, should you buy the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport? Well, if you're looking for performance, this is not the one. But if you want something that looks good, feels premium, and won't punish you at the fuel pump, this actually makes a lot of sense, especially if longevity and reliability are part of your consideration list. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to hit the bell icon for more content like this. And let me know in the comments, are you taking this or are you going for the Toyota Corolla Cross or the Tiggo 7 Pro? Well then, until the next one.